Phillies combined to hit 7 home runs on Friday. Look at that, Mr. GQ. New Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez signing autographs at the game.
With his shirt on.
Yeah, thankfully. In the second, Andy Pettit giving up 5 home runs the last 3 games, while Raul Ibanez gets a hold of that pitch, 17th home run of the season. John Mayberry making his Major League debut for the Phillies. Second career at bat, get up and get out. In 1982, his father John's last career home run was at the old Yankee Stadium. And look at this. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. No one's going to acknowledge the home run. Oh, yeah. Even Charlie Manuel ignored the kid.
It's always funny.
4-1 Phillies in the ninth now. 4-2 Phillies. Brad Lidge closing. Lidge has 0 blown saves last year, 2 so far this season. He gets to share a swinging. Johnny Damon on second. Next batter, A-Rod. After 6 sliders, fastball away. A-Rod says, let's take this one out. To right, 2-run shot. 18th time in his career, A-Rod has hit a home run in the 9th inning or later to tie or win the game. Next batter now, we're tied at 4. Robinson Cano singles to center, so the game-winning run is on board. Melky Cabrera, well, you could just call the Milkman hero. Goes to right center, and Cano comes in. 5th career walk-off hit for the Milkman. 2nd one in a week. Lidge blowing his 3rd save of the season. Yankees win 5-4. Joe Girardi's team has now won 10 of 11. 6th walk-off win this season for his team.
Sox in Boston, kind of a 2-for-1 if you're a Yankee fan to follow. Josh Beckett, 6-2 all-time against the Mets, and he brought the good stuff. You think Angel Pagan was a little fooled, just a little bit maybe. Beckett, 8 scoreless innings. Things got interesting in the ninth. Jonathan Papelbon, 11 for 11 in save opportunities, but with one on, Omir Santos is trouble. Off the top of the Monsters, Santos ends up at second with an apparent 1-run double, game tied at 2, but it was worse than that. We've got deliberation in the first ever replay review at Fenway. Take a peep. Joe West rules home run. The Cowboy says it's up and out. 3-2 Mets. First blown save since September 9th for Papelbon. Mets turn to try to close it out. Francisco Rodriguez out with back spasms. J.J. Putz induces the ground ball. Great play by David Wright, and the force at second. Papelbon at this point is out of his mind. Later in the ninth, Mike Lola, ground ball. Ramon Martinez with a diving stop. That's an out at first. The Mets hang on to win it 3-2 after the blown save by Papelbon. They've won consecutive games against the Red Sox for the first time since 1999.
Saturday or Sunday this season. That's trouble when you read the shot sheet. In the second, Rockies up 1-0. Armando Galarraga, 3-0 in April, 0-3 in May. Chris Iannetta snapping an 0-for-11 slump with his 8th home run of the season. In the 5th inning, Tigers down 3-1. Gerald Laird, hit and run called. Iannetta trying to get Maglio Ordonez. The throw is low. Ordonez comes in. Now 3-2. First error for Iannetta in 158 games. Same at bat for Laird. Lines it into center. Ryan Rayburn comes in. We're tied at 3 in the 6th now. 3-0 count on Todd Helton. Forget about the take. Helton swinging at ball 4. 2nd home run in his last 3 games. 6th of the year. Rockies up 4-3 in the ninth. Houston Street shutting it down. His 100th career save, and the Rockies going to win 4-3. Busting out the rally caps in the top of the second. Derek Lee busting out the big stick to left center past the 401 sign. His 5th of the year. Solo shot, 1-0 Cubs. Cubs starter Randy Wells has not allowed a run in his career. That's 16 1/3 innings. Bottom of the 4th, and here's the shot sheet jinx. Runners at the corners, Brian Giles doubles to left. That scores 2. Wells gives up his first 2 career runs. 2-1 Padres. 3-1 Padres in the ninth. Micah Hoffpower grounds out to Adrian Gonzalez. What a play by the first baseman. Gets the out at first, freezing the runner at third, then throws the second for the double play. Next batter, Giovanni Soto, frozen. Edward Mujica getting his first save. Padres win 3-1.
L.A. versus L.A. John Lackey's second full start of the season has a 1.17 career ERA against the guys in blue. But James Loney down the left field line for an RBI single. Dodgers within 1 at that point. 4-3. Lackey finished 7 innings, allowed 3 earned. Bottom 8th, Loney, the tying run on third now for Casey Blake. Stayed with a curveball, RBI single, ties it up at 4. Bottom 9th, Orlando Hudson on third, 1 out. Scott Shields threw the ball away on a pickoff attempt at first, but he got Jamie Hoffman on the strikeout, 2 outs. Shields left the game with an injury. Jose Arredondo on to strike out Loney to end the threat, but in the 10th, he's in a jam. Nobody out. Bases full of Dodgers for Juan Pierre. Arredondo lost him. Pierre won the game with his first RBI in 98 at-bats against the Angels. It's a walk-off. Lone Star Series, Part 2. Scott Feldman's been good for the Rangers as a starter, but did not get off to a great start Saturday. Miguel Tejada, a little something for his people. Nelson Cruz, valiant effort at the fence, couldn't grab it. Ball bounces on the ledge into the stands. The umps decide no fan interference. It's a homer. Tejada's 5th of the season, Stros up 1-0. Feldman would settle in, and he would get some help as well. Omar Vizquel on the wrong side of 40 and on the wrong side of second base Saturday. First start at second in his career. An 11-time Gold Glover at short, and he shows off the goods. Maybe losing his hair, but he's not lost his feel out there. 42, you know, it's the new 38. Cruz, second time in the cleanup spot. He was the hero on Friday night and cleaned up some more on Saturday. Second homer of the game, 11th of the season. He drove in 4. Hank Blaylock with a hammer of his own to follow that up, his 11th. The Lone Star Series is now locked up. Minnesota sent Anthony Swarzak to the hill for his major league debut, and someday he can tell the grandkids he got Prince Fielder looking for his first career strikeout. Then he got Mike Cameron to ground into a fielder's choice at second base to escape his very first big league jam. And someday he may want to tell the grandkids he played with Joe Mauer in the month of May in 2009 when he's impossible to get out. Carlos Gomez scores. Denard Span looking for third. There's nobody there. Out of play, Span awarded home. Twins up 2-0. Twins up 4-0 in the 5th, and you are so not getting Joe Mauer out. Line drive over the left field wall. His 9th of the season. Twins up 5-0. In the 7th, Swarzak gets Jason Kendall to ground into the double play to end the inning. Twins win it 6-2. Whoa, Menthol. Lots of season history. Like ever. Ever. Top 10. Diamondbacks ace Jason Giambi up in the 4th, sitting on 399 career home runs. That is the big 4-0-0. 44th player in big league history. The Giambino reaches 400. Take it back. Good.
Number 9, college baseball, Arkansas, Vandy, Brendan Harris making a great diving stop at short. The throw to first in time. Vandy would win 11-1.
Number 8, Shard Evans, Yoto Machida. Machida hits Evans with a hook. Evans staggers back. Machida is on top of him up against the cage. Big left hand sends him down. Machida hits Evans with the left, and out he goes. He's the new light heavyweight champ.
Number 7, more college baseball, Minnesota, Ohio State. Michael Arp, diving grab, laying out 11. The leather for the Buckeyes. But Minnesota would win 9-6.
Number 6, Lakers, Nuggets. Kenyon Martin is all of a sudden Pete Maravich. Wow. Behind the back, the bounce pass to the Birdman. But the Lakers take game 3 in a 2-1 series lead.
Got to work on the inbounds, though. Inbounds is key.
Yeah.
College softball, Georgia Tech, Washington. Morgan Stewart deep to center. Blair Schimendel racing back, crashing into the wall, making the grab. However, Washington would win 7-1.
Matt Sox, bottom 9. Jason Bay rips it to third. David Wright is on the case, hugging that line and making the force at second. May have saved the inning and the game for the Mets. Jonathan Papelbon still not happy about the call.
Number 3, Brewers Twins. It's the other Brendan Harris. How about the barehanded grab off of Joe Creedy to get the play out at first? Look at the gun there. I like the Twins hats there. That red-blue combination. Twins win 6-2.
5-6-3, you can score that. O's Nationals, Adam Jones to deep center field, but not deep enough for Justin Maxwell. Oh goodness. High above the wall. I mean, that is bringing the ball back. We talk about saving home runs all the time.
Number 1 better be great. Penn's Hurricanes of Denny Malkin skating in, dropping a pass between his legs. Ruslan Fedotenko doing the rest. The wrister there. The Pens win 6-2. They lead this series 3-0.
Walk-off weekend, trying to sweep the champions. A-plus pitching matchup. Sabathia, Hamels. Bottom three, Yankees down 2-1. Mark Teixeira to left. Here comes John Damon. Look at the throw from Jason Worth. All around great play here. And Damon is cheese, toast. Great throw, the super catch on the tough hop by Ruiz. He also blocked the plate, putting his life on the line. And the Phillies still lead 2-1. This is just wiggity, wiggity, wiggity whacked right here. Mark Teixeira breaks his bat in half, and it's, talk about your State Farm road coverage. That's 10 rows deep. Look at this. Oof.
A good distance of the
He's holding a kebab in his hand, and he hits it 390 feet. All right, 3-2 game, top of the 8th. CC Sabathia. That's a nasty yacker. He gets John Mayberry Jr. swinging. Yankees still trail 3-2. Bottom 9 can Brad Lidge. Last year he was Mr. Perfect. This year not so much. Melky Cabrera is clutch, and the Yankees tie the game. Bottom of the 9th. Brett Gardner. Could we have another Yankee walk-off? No. Ryan Howard 3 unassisted. We go to extra innings. Nothing happened in the 10th. To the 11th, Brett Tomko. In relief, and Carlos Ruiz, a 3-2 curveball with Chase Utley on second. He plates him. All he didn't start the game with Sabathia pitching. Gave him a bit of a day off, a half day, but he would be there in the end, and he would score the winning run. And in 11th, the champs looking good, winning 4-3.
Sweep at Fenway Park. First, they had to seek shelter. It was pouring. Second straight Sports Center with Joe West appearing in the highlights. They waited 36 minutes, and it was worth the wait for Mike Lowell, down 1-0, but not for long. He is monster hopping. A 3-run shot, his 8th of the year. 3-1 Sox. 3-all now when Jeremy Reed steps up and brings in Gary Sheffield. The Mets take a lead, 4-3. Bottom 4th, this is Nick Green. Gonna pop up that bunt. Watch David Wright. Game-saving play Saturday night in the 10th. This is spectacular as well. Top 5 now. Runners on the corners. Sheffield. How important has Sheffield been to this team? Anybody could have had him. Yep. At the end of spring training, Angel Pagan scores. Mets up 5-3. 7-5 lead for the Sox now. Runners in the corners for J.D. Drew. He had himself an afternoon. 4 for 5. Couple of runs scored. Sox now up 8-5. 9-5 now. Kevin Youkilis just missed a home run by a couple of inches in the 5th. He did not miss this time. A 3-run poke, his 7th of the year. Sox win it 12-5. They've won 16 of their last 20 at the Fens. This was huge in the standings, putting some more pressure on a very strong. For an I-70 series sweep, Joel Pinheiro trying to keep up a remarkable run of pitching for the Redbirds. But in the 5th, 1-0 Royals, Miguel Olivo grounds it up the third base line off Joe Thurston's glove. That's a double. Brian Bannister's up. Line drive to right will bring home Olivo. 2-0 KC. 6th inning now, same score. Yadier Molina is your batter. Serve that the other way. Rick Ankiel, great to have him back in the lineup. Comes around after running into that wall. Royals up 2-1. Joel Pinheiro allowed to bat in the 6th. Low pitch count, he had pitched well. And delivers, bringing in Molina. It's 2-2, but KC retook the lead in the 7th. Bottom 9. Juan Cruz on the mound. Chris Duncan out to right. It's only to the warning track. And the Royals might have scored a couple runs in St. Louis and take a game.
Angels and Airways and Dodgers. Despite the Padres winning 9 in a row, the Dodgers still lead San Diego by 8 in the NL West. Home to the Angels. Jamie Hoffman, 3-run home run. First career home run. Congratulations. Jamie Hoffman, 4-0 Dodgers. Bottom 2, Matt Kemp. Torrey Hunter. And Matt Kemp hasn't seen the ball yet because it's in Torrey Hunter's glove. Stayed on the ground for a couple minutes. Maybe the wind knocked out of him. He's okay. Top of the 7th. Hunter again, plates 2, and the Angels are winners 10-7. Hunter 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Dodgers still a comfortable lead in the NL West.
Of this series, Mark Burley trying to keep that going. Eric Hinsky hits it down the right field line. Ball gets wedged between the wall and a water bottle. You couldn't do that if you rolled it over there 100 times. Craig Monroe crosses the plate. He'd have to turn around and go back to third. It's a ground rule double. And that water bottle would cost the Bucks a run. Ninth inning now. Sox up 3-2. Bobby Jenks on the mound. Perfect on the season. Not only 10 for 10 in save opportunities, a 0 ERA in save situations. That is a blemish. Jack Wilson ties it up at 3. Jenks' first blown save of the season after a Nyjer Morgan double. Delwyn Young singles it to left. Morgan scores. Pittsburgh's 16th hit does the trick. The Bucks avoid the sweep with a...
Are in last place in their divisions. Look at Bob Feller. Hall of Fame pitcher, World War II veteran, throws out the first pitch. Once threw a no-hitter on opening day, kids. Look at Austin Kearns make the great catch on Nick Markakis' drive to right center. Right, top of the 7th. Nats winning 4-3. Adam Jones is turning into a ball player. Incredibly athletic center fielder. He's hitting for power. That's his 10th. O's up 5-4. In between innings, 5-year-old Caitlin Marr sings God Bless America.
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Time of game, 7 hours, 42 minutes. Bottom of the 7th, Nationals coming back. Adam Dunn. That ball was almost in the dirt. And he calls it way out of here. Second home run of the game, 14th of the season. God bless Adam Dunn.
Brewers trying to salvage their trip to Minnesota on Sunday Night Baseball. Joe Mauer smoking. 9 homers in 21 games this season. Did I say 9? Joe Mauer against Dave Bush. Deep to right, upper deck, 1-0. Twins on Mauer's 10th. Mitch Stetter got Mauer on the hand, or at least that's what Mauer thought. He's got the hand to prove it. Adrian Johnson, though, ruled it a foul ball, said, get back in there. Mauer's like, dude, I've got a bruise on my hand. My hand is purple. Ron Gardenhire gets into the argument with Johnson. Johnson reverses the call. Mauer goes first, so now Ken Maka is pretty much obligated to come out, state his case. He's apoplectic. Next pitch to Justin Morneau. That's crushed.
Wow.
This is going to make Maka any happier. You're kidding me. Morneau's 13. Twins win.